Welcome back to the show, folks. We've got a United Laguna Woods Village update with Maggie Blackwell. Maggie?
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I haven't been on for a while.
Yes, but she just told me that you have been on the board of United Laguna Woods Mutual for 10 years.
1 year on GRF, 9 years on United.
Wow.
Right.
Still, congratulations.
And it's still all new to me.
That's a commitment. Well, we learn something new every day, right?
Right.
Okay. Right. You've got a lot of wonderful information, talking points to tell us about, so let's dive in and get started.
Okay. All right. We had a meeting last week, and someone addressed Neighborhood Watch, Megan's Law List, which is the California Sex Offender Registry,
Yes.
and also unauthorized entry Aliso Creek, and I'll talk about that one last. I'm going to talk about the Megan's Law List and Neighborhood Watch first.
Okay.
Okay, Megan's Law requires sex offenders to be registered, and that can be looked at online anytime. It's a lifelong registry. Once you're on it forever. United passed a criminal background qualifications policy addressed in 2022. It's 3 pages. Any person who resides in the village in United has to have a criminal background report. Now that means anyone who rents, anyone who buys, anyone who leases, any co-occupant, all of those people are supposed to be registered with United. And when they are required to provide a criminal background report. Individuals will be disqualified if they have a lifetime requirement to register as a sex offender. So they're out with lifetime. Individuals convicted of manufacturing methamphetamine are also not allowed. United shall evaluate the nature and severity of other crimes and the elapsed time in order to decide. Sure. If you have an infraction that's just like a petty theft or a drunken public or whatever it is, I don't want to say urinating, but that happens. And so those are just tickets. Those are not concerns of United. A misdemeanor is a crime with a punishment of jail time for up to 1 year and $1,000. Misdemeanors are like DUIs, shoplifting, things like that. They're not huge concerns, but they might be. Petty theft is a misdemeanor. Those people, an infraction, a misdemeanor, United will consider the misdemeanors within 5 years. Any misdemeanor before 5 years is too old. The date of the conviction, the age of the person at the time of the conviction, any jail time or fees involved, and the type of the crime. If it's burglary or something, we read it more seriously. For felonies, it's a different story. A felony is a crime that can result in punishment from 1 year in jail to life in prison, a fine of up to $10,000, and the judge has the option of imposing felony probation. Felonies include attempted murder, assault with a deadly firearm, and grand theft. Those are the big crimes. Now, if you have a felony conviction for theft or something like that, business crimes don't count. We don't care about that. We evaluate any felony conviction within 20 years. So within 20 years of the date of the conviction. More recent convictions are more relevant, of course. Jail time and fines are considered, and the type of crime is considered. Burglary, assault, arson, and sex offenses are more relevant on whether or not we will let the person in. But anyone with a felony record is evaluated on that by the board. It also considers the eligibility based on the following documents: This is on the plus side. If the judge has expunged the record, that means he's cleared it off because you've done your time, you've been good and whatever. And he says, well, I'm going to clear your record. Now, on felonies, that's unusual, but misdemeanors are often cleared if they're non-essential. Letters from guarantors, friends, and family also help, and from churches and things like that to verify the person has indeed become a substantial good member of society. Then we will read those and we evaluate those. So United has discretion. So we don't just say, yes, you're out, or yes, you're in. We have discretion and we look it over. Once a shareholder or member has qualified within United, if he wants to move to third, there is no recheck. You don't need to requalify once you have been let in. Of course, we are assuming you're not committing new crimes outside the village, but we would hear about that. So we do have a policy. We do not favor posting or publishing Megan's List. I mean, anybody could look on it. Sometimes a person did like statutory rape 60 years ago, went to bed with his girlfriend and the parents had him arrested. That's a whole different story.
Right,
that's nothing that we have to worry about. Child offenders, child sex offenders we're not their target, so we have the discretion to evaluate that.
Still want to keep the community safe.
Still want to keep the community safe, but we may say, oh, yes, right, and the later thing is that he married the girl and they had 5 kids. I mean, that's a different story.
Right. There's always
story. So we have to be vigilant. We do evaluate every person that officially comes before for residency of any kind. And that's why it's very important for all people who are renting out a room or leasing out their unit, bring that paperwork to United. United is supposed to know everybody who is residing in the village in United more than 60 days. So you can have a cousin or an uncle or somebody come stay with you for up to 60 days a year, and you don't need to qualify them, but any more than 60 days.
That becomes a true resident.
That becomes a true resident. As for, let me see. I'll go on to our crime in the village. Crime in the village is virtually non-existent. And the type of crime is not something that would make you afraid to live here. We have animal nuisance, we have a lot of clutter, we have delinquencies in paying, we have illegal occupancy, landscape violations, maintenance violations, and nuisance. Nuisance is like a loud noise or something like that. These are not life-threatening or anything like that.
Right.
So as far as needing neighborhood watch, not necessarily. Now, the creek is a different story. I'll get to that in a minute. But we just don't, I mean, we have smoking violations. Are you smoking too close to the building? We have nothing that would put you in fear. Traffic violations, people run those stop signs. they should be stopped, but not moved out of the village. We have abandoned vehicle, speeding, failure to obey the stop sign, parked on the sidewalk. These are not fearful. So we do not have fear.
They don't concern personal safety.
Right. They
Although
don't
sometimes
involve.
if they don't stop at a stop sign,
Yeah,
that might.
that is. So that is an important violation. People are supposed to notify security. If you see something, say something, and that's what you had up earlier.
We did.
That is the key for us. We have security. They're on call day and night all the time. They might get you in 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or 10 minutes. You can also call the sheriff if you're really worried about something. I called the sheriff one time because I was being hacked online. So he was there in 4 minutes.
That's another very scary issue.
Yeah, 4 minutes he was there. So they do answer our calls, but we call security. Security will send someone out. You won't have to deal with anyone. Your name will not be given. If somebody's doing something that you don't like painting on the walls or something, I don't know, and you call security out, they come out, they investigate, they talk to you first, then you go over and investigate the information, and they talk to the person and make a report, and that report goes to compliance. And then compliance has a whole list of procedures. They might fine them, they might do this, they take photos, they do interviews and everything. And your name is never mentioned, so there are no repercussions. What we don't like is neighbor-to-neighbor confrontation.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so those are the most important things for us. So do we want neighborhood watch? Sure, you can watch all you want, but call security when you have somebody. We don't want neighborhood watch where we have vigilantes going over to other members. We are old people, but we need to be careful, but we need to be protected from each other. So just call in your complaint to security and let them sort it out. They won't call you back and say, yes, we find them pretty big here, or whatever.
Right.
That's not your business, you just make the call. And you can call about dogs, anything like that, anything, any noises, things like that, anything threatening. So, but what has happened lately, apparently, is that people are coming in through the creek. Outsiders are coming in.
And Maggie, can you tell me where that entrance might be?
That's down at the bottom of the creek, where the water, on the upper side where the water comes in or where the water goes out. They don't have if it were ancient times, you would have a screen that came down through the creek, but we don't have that, we never have. So it's a riparian creek, it has to flow freely. And so the homeless people come from across the street outside the village, and lately, they haven't been here until just recently. They have been coming in at the bottom of the creek there, so security is going to take control of that. They're quite concerned, they're going to handle that. So that is an issue for those people down there, and they should be vigilant, and they should call security, and security will be watching very carefully now. The GRF Security and Community Access Committee is the one who will handle that issue. Their meeting is Wednesday, February 26th at 1:30, downstairs in the boardroom. Anyone can come, anyone can be concerned and ask questions, and they will be working on plans to handle the issue, whether it's better spotlights down there or cameras or just more vigilant patrols, regular patrols, whatever. But that is a serious issue. We want our people on the creek to be as safe as the rest of us are throughout the village. Yeah. And so we really are a safe place. You don't need to worry about criminals in here. And hopefully you won't need to worry about any homeless sneaking in either. So safety
Very
is
good peace of
our
mind.
first concern. So it's for the health, welfare, and safety of our residents. That's what the boards are all about. So thank you.
Fantastic. What a wealth of information you are.
Well, I've been here a long time.
Well, I mean, you guys keep it so secure in here that, you know, once you come through, you just feel so safe.
Right, right. Well, the gate system was wonderful. I came before the gate system was in. Before the gate system was here, the gates were open. And gardeners wouldn't leave, and people hired private gardeners for their special little plot here. And they would drive around at night through the cul-de-sacs and take anything that wasn't nailed down. The first day I moved in, I went to Home Depot and bought a cute little wrought iron bench, and I parked it outside of my manor. and in one day it was gone. Whether it was a neighbor or an outsider who took it, I don't know. It was a pretty heavy little thing, not very big. And that's how it was then, because you couldn't control who had access to the community.
Right.
But now that we have the gates, we are so much safer. Everybody has to be recognized. License plates are taken. All guests are registered and so on. So we know and we can figure out. Bicycle theft has been an issue recently, the last 2 years or 3. So we do have theft, but what has happened, unfortunately, is that some of the people involved in that are residents' family members. We cannot control a resident's family member who is allowed to come in unless we discern that they are indeed doing evil deeds here. At that point, we can now monitor all license plates that come in and out here. So we have access to people who are not supposed to be here. Some family members are not allowed in the village anymore.
Is that right?
Yeah, but others are. So it's the guests of the residents, and who knows what they're doing. But they should be out before nightfall. So
What's the curfew? When are they supposed to leave?
well, they're supposed to leave before dark. And so you need an overnight pass if you are a guest in here, but a guest on the guest list doesn't need an overnight pass to stay. But their hour of coming in is noted, and their hour of leaving can be determined too. So we can say, okay, who. Now, some people stay, and we found a bicycle thief falling asleep on the grass at one place, and the bicycle he'd stolen was right there. He just, in the middle of the night, went to sleep on the grass. And and they found he was one that had stolen several others. But it is people who get in the gate legitimately who are not doing legitimate things. So keep your eyes open.
Yeah. That's a great reminder
Right.
to folks to call security. And it's also peace of mind that they do have autonomy when they call also.
That's right.
Because that could prevent a lot of neighbors from calling because they don't want to create that division and that contention.
They don't want to make this person mad. They just want them to stop what they're doing.
Right.
They want to feel safe here. They want to feel peace, quiet, whatever. You can call if they're too noisy. You can call if they're doing bad things in the garden. You can call in for anything. Call on the doggies on the long leash and make those calls so that everybody is a little safer. But nobody can retaliate, and that's what we don't want. That's why neighborhood watch, I mean, someone could start a neighborhood watch, but I think most seniors don't want to do that. Our seniors don't want to be patrolling.
Yeah. It seems to be, effective just to be able to call autonomously and have somebody else take care of it.
That's right. The better way is no personal contact. The better way is to let security do it or the sheriffs. That's the best way. We really are safe here. We are probably the safest place you've ever lived in your life.
I wouldn't doubt it. With your help, Maggie, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, folks, you heard it from Maggie. You live in one of the most secure places on the planet. And
That's
it's
right.
Beautiful, and the people are wonderful. And with that, we're going to go to some messages, but we'll be right back after those are finished. You're watching This Day on Village TV.